What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing WrestleMania 40 predictions. I'm going to be going through both the Saturday and Sunday cards, telling you all what I think is going to happen, and mainly just who I think is going to win the match. Some of these matches are super predictable, but some of them are a huge mystery on who's going to win. So let's begin with the Saturday card. I am here on the Instagram page. So first match they are showcasing, we got Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. Big stakes in this match, as the winner of this match will determine the stipulation for night 2's main event. If Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes wins, then the match between Cody and Roman will have no interference, meaning the bloodline can't be out, no other wrestler can be out there. They're going to sign papers, and it will be one-on-one, completely fair. But if The Rock and Roman Reigns win, then the match will be contested under bloodline rules. Meaning anything goes, the bloodline can interfere as much as they want, any other wrestler can too, and it's just going to be an all-out war, crash fest, the craziest of the craziest can happen. And because of that, what main event sounds more interesting? Oh, simple one-on-one between Cody and Roman, or this chaos with Rock and, the Usos and Solo, and possibly like a returning Stone Cold or John Cena to help Cody even the odds. So I gotta go with The Rock and Roman Reigns to win night 1, just because I think that will make night 2's main event so much more chaotic and more fun. And I think The Rock will get the pin here, and he's gonna pin Seth Rollins. And I think this will play into a future story with Seth and his championship. They're gonna leave him beaten and battered and completely broken, leaving him basically helpless for his night 2 match. The next match is Mommy Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against the man Becky Lynch. I think this is an easy one to predict, though when I say that, I could still see both outcomes. Like, I could see them putting the title on Becky Lynch and having her beat Rhea Ripley, because out of all the women that would defeat Rhea Ripley, I think Becky Lynch would be one of the strongest and most believable women to do so. But I just don't think the time for Rhea Ripley's reign to end is yet. I think Rhea Ripley will walk into WrestleMania, retain her championship in dominating fashion. It'll be back and forth, but I just think that it's not gonna even come super close for Becky winning, other than maybe one spot where she hits the manhandle and it's oh my god, she's gonna win 1-2, kick out 2.5. But I think Rhea Ripley will hit the Riptide, pin Becky Lynch 1-2-3, super believable. No need for Dominic to get involved. I think Rhea should walk out clean and retain her championship. Match 3, the Intercontinental Champion Gunther defends against Sami Zayn. This one, I know a lot of people are easily Gunther. I mean, he's been the champion for 600 plus days now, and we all want him to lose it to Chad Gable, but I think Sami Zayn could do it. I think there's a story there with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable where Sami Zayn could win if Gunther goes on to compete for the World Championship and then Chad Gable defeats Sami Zayn. But using that same logic with the story, I think, and I don't know what I think about this because I want him to be a babyface, I think Chad Gable could cost Sami Zayn the match and help Gunther retain, stating that he should be the one to dethrone Gunther. He doesn't just want the Intercontinental Championship, he wants to defeat the man that made his children cry. I could also see Gunther just winning cleanly. Either way, I think Gunther is retaining his championship. I think he's going to lose it in the next couple months though, because I think he's going to be entering the World Championship division soon. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, brother versus brother. This match should have happened a long time ago with the story they're telling. They had at SummerSlam Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, and Jimmy Uso took Jey out of the ring and cost him the match, and we still haven't really gotten an explanation for it. It still makes no sense to me. Why, the promo after SmackDown, Jimmy said that I don't want you to win the championship because you're gonna be the tribal chief, you're gonna be a big asshole like Roman Reigns is. And then what did he do? He sided with the asshole Roman Reigns, and now he's kissing his ass. And then he's like, I don't want to lose my brother. I don't want to lose the Usos. And then he's fighting him, costing him all these matches. The only logical thing that can appear in my head is that after he saw Jey Uso teaming up with Cody Rhodes, that he was like, okay, you stabbed me in the back. I still don't think this story makes sense, and I think the match would have made more sense to happen soon after SummerSlam instead of splitting them for so long, and then, Jimmy coming back to fight Jey. But story regardless, regardless, this is still an amazing match that is perfect for WrestleMania if you disregarded the story. They've always wanted to have this one-on-one WrestleMania match, brother versus brother. It's the first time a brother versus brother match has happened at WrestleMania since the Hardy Boys fought 15 years ago. And I gotta go with Jey Uso. He has so much more star power than Jimmy. Jimmy's kind of just a lackey to Roman Reigns right now. While Jey Uso is main event Jey Uso, consistently main eventing Raw, you can believe him to defeat people like Gunther, Drew McIntyre. He almost beat Seth Rollins for the championship. And I just don't think Jimmy has the credibility to get a win over Jey unless there's shenanigans, which I could see that happening. I could see like Solo Sikoa coming out and spiking Jey Uso, but I just think Jey Uso is gonna win. Next match, the 6-pack ladder match for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Going through all the teams here, we have The Miz and R-Truth, Awesome Truth, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, A-Town Down Under, New Czech Republic, which is Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day, and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa of DIY. Such a stacked match. There is so many amazing talent here. They've made a big deal on Raw to say that both the Raw Tag Team Championship and the SmackDown Tag Team Championship have to be taken off of the hooks for the match to end. Meaning you could have someone go up there and grab the Raw titles, but the match is still on. So I'm thinking, since they've really honed in on telling us that you have to take both championships off, I think one team is going to grab the Raw Tag Team titles while another team grabs the SmackDown tag titles. There's two ways they could go with this. They could have like R-Truth go up there, and R-Truth, he's a little out there, he doesn't really know what he's doing most of the time. Thought he was in the Judgment Day for the past 6 months. He could grab the Raw Tag Team Championship, climb down the ladder and be like, Miz, we won, and then have another team go up there and grab the SmackDown tag titles. Or you could simply just have two people on the ladder, they're fighting back and forth, they just rip the titles off and they both, claim them as their own. If I had to pick one team to win, I would go The Miz and R-Truth. Their story just makes way too much sense. I originally thought it was just gonna be the R-Truth and Miz versus the Judgment Day at Mania, but they decided to do this ladder match, which I think is a great idea. It's gonna be a lot more entertaining. So I think The Miz and R-Truth will grab the Raw Tag Team Championship, while Austin Theory and Grayson Waller will grab the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Because without having someone win the title of a brand they're not on, I think Waller and Theory make the most sense to be SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They're the most believable team. I like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I just think that it will take them a couple more months of being like a team for them to be championship caliber. I just don't think they've been together long enough on main roster. So yeah, going with Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under to win this match. Next up, we have Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka of Damage Control. This is probably the most predictable match of the entire show. There is no way that Damage Control wins. It's easily gonna be Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. First off, Bianca Belair has never lost at WrestleMania. She's 3-0, and if she's ever gonna lose at WrestleMania, I feel like they're gonna have it be to a rising star and a singles match. Think like Tiffany Stratton. Like, I think she would be a good one to end Bianca Belair's WrestleMania streak. Or hell, they could make her the female Undertaker eventually. You never know. Like, I could see them giving Bianca like 10 wins before losing. And then this is also Jade Cargill's debut match if you don't count the Royal Rumble. And they're building Jade up to be one of the biggest faces of the women's division. So yeah, 100% Bianca, Jade, and Naomi are going to win. And I could definitely see after Mania having like Bianca and Jade become like a tag team and go after the women's tag titles, and eventually they're gonna feud probably for SummerSlam. This is just the beginning of a larger story, and so you can't just derail all of the other women's momentum by having Damage Control win. Like, Damage Control has very little to gain in comparison to Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. And the final match on night one, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. This one is kind of a hard one when I think about it. Like, there's no clear, like, I see this team winning winning. I see this one winning. I think, though, I'll have to go with Santos and Dom, because last year Ray beat Dom, and I think they're going to have Dom get his get back and defeat Ray at Mania this year, and it's going to get him all this heat and boo, we hate Dominic. I also think they're just going to have the Judgment Day end this show on top other than the Tag Team Championship, but I'll get into that later why I want them all to end on top. I think with Rhea winning, it just makes so much more sense for Dominic to win as well. I don't think Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee need this win, but I think it could really hurt Santos and Dom if they lose. So yeah, Santos and Dom for the win. Now we are on to night 2, and you know what? I'm going to save this for last. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. This one is actually pretty easy in my opinion. Like, I could still see Seth winning. It's hard to bet against him. He's basically defeated everyone on Raw, including defeating Drew twice already. I think there will be shenanigans in this match, maybe involving the Judgment Day, maybe involving the Bloodline. So if the Bloodline's defeating Seth and Cody, they're not just gonna go straight after Cody in the main event. They're gonna mess with Seth as well. So I believe that Drew McIntyre is going to defeat Seth Rollins and finally win that championship in front of fans. But after the match, Damian Priest comes out and he cashes in that Money in the Bank contract, and he defeats Drew McIntyre to win the World Heavyweight Championship, the second Mania cash-in in history, the biggest stage to possibly do a cash-in and to finally showcase, you get to showcase Damian Priest in front of so many people winning the championship. That builds a new star instantly. Makes the Judgment Day so much more powerful. So I do think Damian Priest will cash in, but if he doesn't cash in, I think Raw after Mania, because I could see them having Drew win, have his moment, and not tarnish that moment, because we'll look back at, you know, Drew winning in front of fans for years, and maybe they don't want to tarnish that with Damian cashing in right after, so they may just do it Raw after Mania, which I would respect. That makes sense. But I just think that I just have a feeling they're going to pull the trigger at Mania. There's not many opportunities for Damian to cash in. His contract may expire. So I think doing it against Drew with the history they had, you know, teaming up at War Games, the previous feud between Damian and Drew, I think Drew wins and Damian walks out as the World Heavyweight Champion. Next up, this is one of my most anticipated matches. Io Sky versus Bayley for the Women's Championship. I mean, the writing's on the wall. Bayley's winning. These two were in a faction with Dakota Kai ever since Bayley returned in 2022. Women's tag team title gold. They faced, you know, for the women's championship multiple times. Bayley, that is. And then things started to crumble late last year. Rest of Damage Control seemed kind of standoffish. Just didn't really like being around Bayley. Just stuff was awkward. And eventually, after Bayley won the Royal Rumble, she knew what Damage Control was saying the whole time, talking behind her back. She learned Japanese, which led to Bayley getting upset at them, like, you know, I thought we were friends, and then they were like, nope, we never were, and betrayed her. Bayley walking in as the babyface, getting revenge on her friends who stabbed her in the back. She's been losing a lot these past few years while being in Damage Control, so now that she's finally separated herself, she's finally going to return to her old, you know, top of the division. The Bayley we all knew and loved, not the jobber. And so Bayley defeats Io Sky to win the Women's Championship. Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul versus Randy Orton for the United States Championship. Weird match for Randy Orton to be in, to be honest. I thought they were originally just going to do Randy Orton versus Logan Paul one-on-one, but Kevin Owens has unfinished business with Logan Paul. I don't really have much to say about this match. I just believe Logan Paul will retain. I don't see him dropping it to either Kevin or Orton. If anyone, I would see him dropping it to Kevin, because I just don't think Orton is going to be in a United States Championship division for a while. I think he has a lot to do in the main event, and I think Logan Paul is going to hold that title all the way until SummerSlam in Cleveland, his hometown, and walk in as champion. He'll retain maybe there, he may lose it there, but I think they're going to keep it on him until at least SummerSlam in Cleveland, which is actually going to give him one of the longest US title reigns of all time. Like, Logan Paul, people. But yeah, Logan Paul retains. LA Knight, yeah, versus AJ Styles. This feud started months ago when AJ Styles was left on the shelf by the Bloodline, and LA Knight took his place in a tag team match, teaming up with John John Cena. And then AJ Styles kind of felt disrespected by that. Like, LA Knight, he walked over my dead body to get a big opportunity that should have been mine. They fought back and forth on who should have challenged the Tribal Chief at the Royal Rumble, and eventually this led to their own feud. It has to be LA Knight who wins this. AJ, at this point in his career, he's kind of on the verge of the end of his career, maybe. I mean, if he wanted to, he could go on for a lot longer, but yeah, he's getting up in age. He's accomplished basically all there is to accomplish in WWE, while LA Knight is still on the rise, trying to build more of a name for himself. He's one of the most popular in WWE, but if he loses to AJ Styles, that could really halt his momentum, and we don't want to turn the fans at LA Knight, so he has to win here. And the final match, before we get to the main event that we're going to predict, we got Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and Bobby Lashley versus Akam Razor, the Authors of Pain, and Karrion Kross, the Final Testament. I guess they just call this group here Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. I don't know if they have like an actual team group nickname. This is going to be a Philadelphia street fight. This is definitely going to be a fun one with a bunch of chaos and weapons. And I think the Final Testament is going to win. They're the one with an actual faction name. I mean, that makes the most sense. And the main event, what we have been waiting for a whole year now, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the undisputed Universal Champion, defends against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And so we are assuming right here that this is going to be Bloodline rules with my other prediction from earlier. Roman Reigns has been champion now for what, 1,300 days? Since August of 2020. He's been holding this title since Payback of 2020. They didn't do another Payback for 3 years, but he was champion through all that time with no payback. He's defeated so many legends. He is the 4th or 5th longest reigning champion of all time. And Cody Rhodes was the first man to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles since Stone Cold did in the 90s. One of the most anticipated matches in WWE history. Cody trying to win the championship for his father, Dusty Rhodes, who passed away, who never got to win the championship, and Cody wants to win that championship in his father's honor, while Roman Reigns is trying to cement that he is the greatest of all time once again. I think there's going to be a lot of interference. The Rock, Solo, Jimmy, Jay, Seth Rollins. Maybe Seth Rollins may not be there because of what happens in Drew match. I don't know. And hell, we may see a little Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena coming out there causing all the chaos like a Attitude Era match. Hell, have the entire roster that's faced Roman Reigns before just go out there and beat him up. Overbook the hell out of this. Make this the most overbooked match of all time. For in the end, Cody Rhodes hits the 3 crossroads and he pins Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is the brand new undisputed Universal Champion. Something tells me that Roman Reigns is still gonna retain, but I just don't think that at WrestleMania 40, a milestone mania, the biggest wrestling show of all time, if Roman Reigns does not lose to Cody Rhodes on Sunday, I am fully confident that they're going to have him hold this championship until he is the longest reigning of all time. I'm fully confident they're going to have him beat Bruno Sammartino's reign if he retains Sunday. There's no better time. Roman has literally broken almost every single record there is to break, and the records he has left to break are just unfeasible for him to break. I don't think you can make Roman Reigns' title reign interesting for another, like he won't pass him to like 2028 or something? 4 more years? There's no way we're only halfway through Roman's reign. Cody is the perfect guy to dethrone Roman. It has to happen eventually, and I think it makes most sense to happen Sunday. I think Roman Reigns will leave for a while. If you watched Roman Reigns' documentary, he said that if he loses to Cody on Sunday, he's leaving. And I think he will leave. I think he's going to be gone for a really long time. And I think he'll return at next year's Royal Rumble, and then he'll begin feuding with The Rock for WrestleMania 41. I think this is my perfect scenario. This is me a little fantasy booking right here. Cody Rhodes, he wins, and The Rock ain't having it. He goes after Cody. We get The Rock versus Cody Rhodes one-on-one at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes retains. And then The Rock, he's there a little bit. Like, The Rock has to get back to movies eventually. But I think he comes back in around January 2025. he kind of has like intentions to go after Cody again. I don't know. Maybe they face off at the Royal Rumble in 2025, and then you have Roman Reigns come back in the Royal Rumble. You know, this story would make most sense if Rock won the title off of Cody and then Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, but fans would detest that just like they did this year. I just think Roman coming back in 2025, being mad at The Rock, like, while, you know, I was gone, you tried to take over the bloodline yourself. You tried to be the tribal chief. You tried to be the head of the table when you acknowledged me. And I think that's what they're going for next year, and I don't think that's a title match. I think you have to have Roman to lose the title for the story to make sense. Him blaming The Rock for everything that's transpired. And Cody Rhodes finally finishes the story. After 2 long years of waiting, we finally get to see it. We finally get Cody finishing the story. So yeah, those are my WrestleMania 40 predictions. I have been doing YouTube community polls. There's gonna be more coming out soon where I see other people's predictions, and then we are gonna make a video after WrestleMania where I go over what you all thought. So if you want to go to my YouTube community tab and you can predict what you think. I selected 9 matches from Mania, spaced them out so people can actually, you know, see the polls. I want to get a good sample size. And then yeah, we'll go over what you guys thought was going to happen at WrestleMania 40, see if you guys were right. And you can also tell me in the comments down below, what are your predictions for Mania 40? I am so excited. I am so hyped for this show. Gonna be an amazing 2 nights. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button and hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I wish I could have it my way. I don't really know who's to blame, but you said you were giving me space, then forever went away. Hey, at night in the garden I roam. Since the day you left, no flowers grow. My skin's gone purple from the cold, and I hate you, but I think I miss you more.